Hi guys, it's your girl B Michelle coming at you with another Dollar Tree DIY. So I'm going to start with some of these items that you see here, and I will add additional items along the way. So I'm using some contact paper, which that came from Walmart, but these mirrors from the Dollar Tree, of course, they are smaller than before, and these boxes. And first, you want to lay out your contact paper, and you want to use the item that you're going to be covering, and you just want to use it as a guide to see how much contact paper you're going to need and cut it out. And then you want to pull the paper back. It has the adhesive already on it, and you just want to kind of smooth it as you go. Just put a little bit at a time so you don't have too many bubbles. And I use my debit card or credit card to smooth out some of the bubbles before I sealed everything up. So you just want to get out any bubbles and everything before you place everything down. Then I use the scissors to cut the sides, and you just want to cut it down to cover the item that you're trying to cover. It's very simple, you guys. And I just folded in any excess paper that I had left. So once you have your paper on, it should look something like this. So the frames, the mirror frames, I took the frame part off and I took it outside and spray painted it. And I used the Rustoleum gold, metallic gold spray paint. And you do want to let yours dry. I tend to touch mine before it's dry and I have fingerprints on it. So you guys just make sure yours is dry. Don't follow, don't make the same mistakes that I make. So just make sure it's dry, and you want to place the mirror back on the inside and seal it back up. So I just spaced the marble pieces, the pieces with the contact paper. I spaced those out, and I'm going to be using some E6000 and hot glue. I was trying to show you guys, I'm not really sure if you guys can see in the video, but the contact, you may want to cover yours with a coat of paint or something before you lay the contact paper down, because I noticed that I could still kind of see the words that was previously on the little boxes before I covered with the contact paper. So if that's going to be bothersome to you, you may want to go over it with a coat of paint to cover up those words so that you won't see it. I can see it, but I mean, someone comes to your house, they probably won't notice it unless they're looking at it extremely hard. But hey, that's up to you if you want to paint yours. So I followed up with some hot glue, and I'm just placing it close to the edge, not really, really close to the edge, but just leaving a little space on there so I can have some point of contact. And doing the same thing to the other side, I just flipped it over. So place the E6000 or whatever type of strong glue and followed up with some hot glue. Of course, you guys, I never measure anything, so I can't tell you how many inches in and all of that. I just kind of eyeball things and just kind of wing it. So, but I will tell you that once you get your pieces placed, you want to measure, you want to kind of see where you want to place your pieces. I, on the other hand, did not know that I was going to add this piece in the middle. So you want to kind of lay yours out to see where to um, glue your pieces down at, because the piece in the middle, you want to have that point of contact with the two mirrors, and you'll see that part in just a moment. I actually, this wasn't a part of my original plan, so it didn't matter to me about the spacing, but it just happened to fit perfectly in there, and you guys will see that in just a moment. So that space that you see in the middle between the two mirrors, you want to kind of measure between there for your third piece to fit if you want to use that option. If you don't want to add that third frame, that's totally up to you. I also use these game pieces to add more to make this piece more secure. Now this is the middle piece that I'm speaking of. I just use a razor blade to scrape those off. You can also use acetone to scrape off the words that's on there. And I'm going to be covering the middle piece with the contact paper. And you want to seal your glass to the frame, so you just want to run a layer of hot glue to make sure that they stay secure. So this is how the piece looks when it's covered. And for the middle, this is optional. You can use gems if you want, the acrylic gems. I'm just going to use some of these beads and I'm just cutting them individually. This is totally optional. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to. And I'm just placing this back on here. I didn't seal those sides of the box up or anything. They just kind of fold back into place, and then I'll run a layer of hot glue to secure it back to the frame. Just trying to show you how it looks with the beads in there. And just running that hot glue to kind of seal that together. And then once that's dry, I followed up with some E6000 to join the pieces together. And I followed up with some hot glue to get that instant stick. And I'm going to be placing this in the middle. So this is where I'm speaking of, where you want to make sure that you're going to have enough space to fit this middle piece if you decide to do this middle option. This wasn't a part of my original plan, so it just happens that it fit perfectly. So that's why I was saying you guys want to measure the distance between the two mirrors if you want to use this option. And these were some black candle holders from the Dollar Tree as well. If you can't find a square, I do have some of the round shaped ones, and you just want to have a point of contact on the mirror, so the round ones would work as well if you can't find the square ones. And I just covered up the glass part with some painter's tape, and I spray painted it with the Rustoleum metallic gold spray paint as well. And this is optional as well. Keep in mind, with any project that I put out there, you guys, anything, just about anything on it is optional. It's going to be your personal preference on how you want yours to be if you choose to replicate whatever it is that I make. I use some E6000 on one side of this candle holder. Sorry you guys can't see it. It's a very thin candle holder, and it's not a whole lot of E6000 that you can put on there, but I make sure that I put some on the four corners as a point of contact to glue it to the frame. And this, like I said, this is optional because I'm not sure how long this piece will actually stay on here, considering it's such a small point of contact. You also can use some tape. You can use some clear, the transparent tape if you want to just run a layer of the tape on the mirror to make sure that this stays secure. And I just kind of went in with a little bit of hot glue to get that instant stick. And of course, this was an afterthought, and this wasn't a part of the original plan. Really, it was just going to be the marble pieces and the two mirrors and whatever kind of embellishments, but I just kind of think of things as I go. So, and these are some acrylic gems. These came from Michael's. They was in a set that I got from Michael's. I've had these for a while. This is optional as well. And I'm just putting some E6000 and following up with some hot glue. And then I use some rhinestones to kind of embellish the whole piece. And I put rhinestones on each corner of this candle holder and just throughout the whole piece. And this is also another option if you wanted to add some lighting. It would be better if you had the lights that were that you can use with the remote instead of using these push lights. And to secure it, to hang it on the wall, this is an option as well. You don't have to do this. Just run some hot glue on the back side and use a string of the beads and place about 2 or 3 of those beads down in a glob of the hot glue. You want to make sure that this is going to be secure. Just put a glob of the hot glue down in the corners and place about 2 or 3 of those beads down in it. Make sure that's dry to secure it, to use this to hang. That's an option. You don't have to do that part. And this is the final look. So this is with it just hanging on the wall with the lights on the back. It didn't put out a whole lot of light. That's why I said this part is optional. But if you had like some string lights with the remote control, you can kind of put those closer to the edge and it'll probably light up better. But that's one look. And I'll just continue to show you the whole look. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you like what you see here and want to continue to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time. Love you guys. And until next time, bye.